In our galaxy, the Milky Way, there are estimated to be between 100 and 400 billion stars. Imagine that each of them could have its own planets and potentially support life. But this is just the beginning. The universe contains approximately 2 trillion galaxies, each of which could contain billions of stars. If you think these are just numbers, consider this. In one galaxy alone, there could be twice as many stars as there are people on Earth, which is more than 7 billion. But how is this possible? The reason is that stars form from clouds of gas and dust that contract under the influence of gravity, and this process occurs continuously. Every day, new stars are born in the cosmos, and many of them could be much larger and brighter than our Sun. For example, the star VY Canis Majoris has a diameter that exceeds 900 times that of the Sun. This means that if it were to replace our Sun, its light would be millions of times brighter and would warm an entire planetary system. But what if we could travel between galaxies? According to current estimates, the distance between galaxies can reach millions of light-years. This makes intergalactic travel practically impossible with today's technologies. But do you know that the light from the most distant galaxies can travel billions of years before reaching us? This means that we see them as they were in the distant youth of the universe. Just recently, astronomers discovered galaxies that formed only 700 million years after the Big Bang. This means the universe was still very young and turbulent. But this is not all. When studying these distant galaxies, scientists find evidence of processes that we didn't even suspect. For example, in some of them, stars were actively forming, but not in the way they do in our galaxy. They were forming in enormous quantities, raising questions about the mechanisms of galaxy formation. What else do these distant corners of the cosmos hide? Are there galaxies with conditions that could completely change our understanding of life? And this is just the beginning, because the world of stars is much more complex than we can imagine. On Saturn's northern pole lies a hexagonal storm that is remarkable for its size and shape. Its diameter is 25,000 kilometers, comparable to the size of 2 Earths. This meteorological phenomenon has existed for decades and attracts the attention of scientists from around the world. Imagine a perfect 6-sided polygon that constantly rotates, creating powerful winds up to 300 kilometers per hour. But that's not all. Each angle of this hexagon is about 32,000 kilometers long, making it one of the largest atmospheric structures in our solar system. Scientists believe that such a form could be due to the interaction of atmospheric flows and the planet's rotation. When the Cassini probe approached the storm, it recorded amazing details. At the center of the hexagon, powerful clouds formed, constantly changing color from white to yellowish-brown, creating stunning visual effects. But how could such a storm have existed for so long? The answer lies in Saturn's unique climatic conditions and its massive atmosphere, rich in ammonia and methane. This storm is not only stable but also demonstrates remarkable dynamism, constantly generating new vortices and clouds. Furthermore, scientists have found that under the influence of sunlight and radiation on the surface of the hexagon, complex chemical reactions occur that affect the composition of the atmosphere. And here's where it gets truly extraordinary. The temperature in the upper layers of the hexagon can reach -200 degrees Celsius, while in the lower layers it can be significantly higher, creating incredible gradients of pressure and temperature. What's even more astonishing, these meteorological phenomena on Saturn could be the key to understanding atmospheric processes on other planets, including Earth. At the center of our Milky Way galaxy lies a supermassive black hole known as Sagittarius A star, whose mass is 4 million times greater than that of the Sun. Imagine an object so powerful that its gravitational field distorts space-time around it, causing light to bend and disappear. Scientists have determined that the diameter of this black hole is approximately 24 million kilometers, equivalent to the distance from Earth to Venus. But that's not all. Sagittarius, a star, emits powerful radio waves that can be detected on Earth using radio telescopes. Such observations have allowed astronomers to understand how such colossal objects form and evolve. Did you know that as Sagittarius A grows, it consumes stars and gas clouds, creating an accretion disk around itself with temperatures reaching millions of degrees? This phenomenon causes powerful X-ray bursts that can be detected using specialized telescopes. One of the most remarkable experiments was conducted in 2018 when an international team of astronomers used a global network of radio telescopes to create the first image of a black hole, marking a breakthrough in astronomy. But how do astronomers manage to detect such distant and mysterious objects? The secret lies in the fact that black holes, although invisible, influence their surroundings. Stars nearby move at incredible speeds, and their orbits reveal the presence of Sagittarius A star. This discovery raises many questions about the formation of galaxies and the role of black holes in the evolution of the universe. Around Sagittarius, a star, there are numerous stars that orbit it at a distance of just a few light-years, and their behavior can provide insights into gravity in extreme conditions. Now imagine that this black hole is surrounded by clouds of gas and dust, which could be the birthplace of new stars. And what's even more astonishing? In some cases, astronomers have observed black holes ejecting streams of matter, moving at speeds close to the speed of light, creating powerful jets visible over billions of light-years. The planet WASP-12b is astonishing. It is so close to its star that the temperature on its surface exceeds thousands of degrees Celsius, causing its atmosphere to literally evaporate into space. Imagine this. On this planet, the temperature can reach up to 1,500 degrees, while its star, WASP-12, is only 7 million kilometers away, which is 3 times closer than the distance from Earth to the Sun. But this is not just heat. Due to the powerful gravity of the star, this planet has taken the shape of an egg, not a perfect sphere. The bends and irregularities on its surface create a unique landscape that is not found anywhere else in our solar system. Do you know what happens to the atmosphere when the temperature reaches such extremes? It breaks down into atoms and molecules that then escape into open space like smoke from a fire. This phenomenon is called atmospheric escape, and on WASP-12b it occurs at a terrifying speed. Every year, about 500 million tons of atmosphere are lost, which is equivalent to the mass that could fill an entire Olympic swimming pool. But that's not all. Scientists have discovered that on this planet there may be clouds of iron and titanium, which form as a result of incredible pressure and temperature. Just imagine air saturated with metal, looking like a scene from a science fiction film. And what's even more astonishing, the planet orbits its star in just one day, making it one of the fastest known exoplanets. This extreme rotation creates constant hurricanes with speeds exceeding 400 kilometers per hour. What do you think would happen if spacecraft tried to land on such a planet? They would face a real catastrophe. But the most intriguing question is, how can a planet remain in orbit under such conditions? The answer lies in its massive mass, which holds it in the gravitational field, despite the colossal temperatures and pressure. WASP-12b is a true mystery for astronomers who continue to study it, to understand how such extreme conditions could affect the possibility of life in other parts of the universe. Scientific research shows that this planet could even serve as a laboratory for studying exotic forms of matter that cannot be found on Earth. Imagine a world where the atmosphere is destroyed and clouds of metal whistle in the wind.
And this is just the beginning of amazing discoveries.
The Hubble Space Telescope has been a true revolution in astronomy, having made over 1,400,000 observations in its 30 years of operation. Imagine this. Every day, this telescope sends data to Earth that allows scientists to peer into the most distant corners of the universe, revealing secrets that were once only dreams. Over the years, Hubble has transmitted approximately 150 terabytes of data to Earth, equivalent to the volume of thousands of DVDs. Throughout this time, astronomers have used these data to create breathtaking images, such as the famous Hubble Deep Field, where over 3,000 galaxies were discovered in a small patch of the sky, each located billions of light-years away from us. What's truly remarkable is that the telescope uses technologies that have allowed it to operate in conditions where ordinary optical telescopes would fail. Thanks to the absence of atmosphere in space, Hubble can take images with a resolution several dozen times better than any ground-based telescope. This has enabled scientists not only to observe stars and galaxies, but also to study their composition, motion, and even their distance from Earth, helping us better understand the expansion of the universe. Did you know that Hubble was able to confirm the existence of dark energy, which is estimated to make up around 74% of all energy in the universe? This discovery has revolutionized our understanding of cosmology, forcing scientists to reevaluate many theories. And now imagine that every time Hubble sends data, it opens new horizons for future generations of astronomers. It has become a kind of cosmic archive, preserving the entire history of the universe. And the most exciting part? New data are expected soon that could completely change our understanding of black holes and their role in galaxy formation. In space, there exist what are known as hot Neptunes, planets that are similar in size and composition to Neptune, but are located at remarkably close distances from their stars. Imagine a planet where the surface temperature reaches 1,000 degrees Celsius. This is not just heat, it's hellish heat, where the atmosphere can consist of hydrogen, helium, and even exotic compounds such as silicide and carbide. Given that hot Neptunes are located at distances several times closer than Mercury to our Sun, their living conditions and atmospheric composition are drastically different from what we observe on Earth. Did you know that on such planets it can rain molten glass? This happens due to the extreme temperatures and pressures that create unique meteorological conditions. On one such planet, known as WASP-121b, the temperature at the equator can reach 800 degrees Celsius, and the atmospheric wind can blow at speeds up to 600 kilometers per hour. These planets are so hot that their atmospheres can evaporate into space, forming clouds of ions. But that's not the strangest part. On these planets, scientists have found traces of molecules that could be the result of complex chemical processes. For instance, on hot Neptunes, clouds of sodium can form, leading to remarkable light effects. And here's where it gets truly bizarre. Some hot Neptunes can even have their own ring systems, like Saturn's, but in a much more aggressive environment. Now imagine a planet where the surface temperature is so high that even metals are in a gaseous state. This challenges everything we know about planets and their atmospheres. If you thought hot Neptunes were just exotic objects far away, know that their study could provide insights into the formation of planetary systems and the possibility of life in other corners of the universe. Do such planets exist where life could survive despite the hellish heat? Recent research suggests that some of them might have suitable conditions for life in subsurface oceans. In the constellation of Aquarius lies a water cloud containing 143 trillion times more water than all the oceans of Earth combined. Imagine that. This cloud, known as G20, possesses an incredible mass and contains approximately 7 billion trillion tons of water. How is this possible? It turns out that in space there exist enormous clouds of gas and dust that can contain significant amounts of water in the form of vapor. This cloud is located more than 25,000 light-years away from Earth and covers an area larger than all known bodies of water on our planet. But that's not the most astonishing part. In this cloud, water exists in the form of molecules that are created as a result of the interaction of various reactants in the interstellar medium. Scientists claim that this cloud may contain enough water to fill all the oceans of Earth 300 times. But how did this water accumulate in such quantities? The answer lies in the complex processes occurring in stellar systems where new stars and planets are formed. Water molecules are created through chemical reactions when hydrogen reacts with oxygen in conditions typical of cold molecules in space. What's even more shocking, water clouds of this type could become a source of water for future human colonies on other planets. Scientists are actively studying the possibility of using such resources to support life on Mars and other celestial bodies. But how exactly would this be done? The technologies required for extracting water from such clouds could be just as complex as the processes that create these clouds. But that's not all. This cloud contains not only water but also other elements such as carbon and oxygen, which are necessary for the creation of organic life. Do you think we will ever be able to use these cosmic resources to create new life on other planets? Scientific research continues, and the results may change our understanding of life in the universe. For example, a recent study found that such water clouds could be key to understanding how habitable exoplanets form in the habitable zone. All these discoveries open new horizons for astronomy and the future of humanity. And what is most surprising? The water cloud in the constellation of Aquarius contains as much water as the oceans of Earth, but this is just a drop in the ocean compared to the reserves that may be found in other parts of our galaxy. Imagine that nearly 70% of the entire universe is composed of something we cannot see or touch. This mysterious dark energy causes the cosmos to accelerate with each passing moment. Scientists have not yet fully understood what it is, but one thing is certain: it acts like anti-gravity, pulling galaxies apart. What's even more intriguing is that dark energy was discovered through observations of supernovae, which explode and become brighter than entire galaxies. Scientists studying their light noticed that these stars were receding from us faster than expected, which shook the world of astronomy. But how can it influence the movement of objects in the cosmos? The answer lies in its properties. Dark energy does not merely exist. It fills space and increases its density as the universe expands. This means that the more space there is, the more dark energy there is, and consequently, the faster the universe expands. Isn't that amazing? But how can we be sure of its existence? The main evidence comes from cosmology and observational astronomy, where complex mathematical models, such as Einstein's equations, are often used. However, despite all these studies, dark energy remains one of the greatest mysteries of science. It does not interact with ordinary matter, making it invisible to all our instruments, and we don't even know how it affects other forces. What's even more shocking? Dark energy may be linked to quantum fluctuations in empty space, challenging our understanding of what emptiness really is. Scientific experiments, such as the Euclid Project, should help us see how dark energy influences the structure and evolution of the universe. But here's the question. If dark energy makes up such a large part of the universe, how does it affect our perception of time and space? The answer to this question could revolutionize our understanding of reality. And what's most fascinating? Dark energy may alter the very nature of matter, making us question what matter truly is. In the cosmos, exoplanets have been discovered that challenge all our notions of planetary formation. These are hot Jupiters orbiting their stars in the opposite direction. Imagine a planet the size of Jupiter just a few million kilometers from its star, where the temperature exceeds 1,000 degrees Celsius. How is this possible? Usually, planets form an orbit in the same direction, following the law of conservation of angular momentum, but these giants break the rules. For example, the exoplanet HD 2988 EZ has an orbit inclined at 90 degrees relative to the plane of its star. This means it orbits on its side, as if dancing in a cosmic ballet that no one expected. Do you know how this happens? Scientists suggest that hot Jupiters could have been ejected from their original orbits due to gravitational interactions with other planets or stars. This is similar to how a ping-pong ball can be deflected when hit from another side. And here's where it gets really strange. Some of these planets also exhibit anomalies in their spectra, indicating the presence of hydrogen and helium in unusual proportions. This could mean that their atmospheres have been strongly affected by stellar radiation, leading to their evaporation. Now imagine that such planets are not just unique, but could also harbor signs of life, despite their extreme conditions. Using telescopes like Hubble and Kepler, scientists have found over 100 hot Jupiters, and their number continues to grow. We are on the brink of a revolution in astronomy, where each new discovery opens doors to understanding how our own solar system formed. But here's what's truly astonishing. Some of these hot Jupiters orbit their stars in just a few days, making them true cosmic speed records. Imagine a region of space where the temperature drops below absolute zero, minus 273.15 degrees Celsius. This is not science fiction, but reality, and one such extraordinary place is the Boomerang Nebula, located approximately 14,000 light-years away from Earth. In this nebula, gas molecules slow down to such an extent that their motion practically stops, creating conditions that contradict all known laws of physics. But what is even more astonishing, this nebula emits an incredible amount of energy, and yet its temperature remains below absolute zero. How is this possible? The secret lies in the fact that Boomerang is not just a cloud of gas, but the result of a star explosion that shed its outer layers, forming a giant gas sphere. Inside this sphere, ice crystals form, cooling the surrounding gas to extreme values. Just a few degrees above absolute zero, and yet this nebula contains more than 35% water vapor, making it unique in its own right. But that's not all. The Boomerang Nebula also contains complex molecules such as carbon monoxide and even formaldehyde, which behave completely differently at such extreme temperatures. How can such molecules form at such low temperatures? The answer lies in physics, where we see that at low temperatures, molecules interact with each other much more slowly, allowing them to combine and form more complex structures. What happens next? These molecules can serve as the basis for the formation of new stars and planets in the future. Imagine that in such a cold place, new systems could emerge that could support life. And this means that even in the coldest corners of the universe, there could be life. Remarkably, the Boomerang Nebula is just one of many nebulae like it, where temperatures reach incredible values. In other regions of the cosmos, such as the Hubble Nebula, temperatures can exceed 300 degrees Celsius, creating incredible contrasts. What else might the cosmos hide in its vast expanses? Are there even more extreme conditions that we are not yet aware of? At the center of some galaxies, there are quasars that are incredibly bright. Their luminosity can exceed that of 1 trillion stars. Imagine an object so powerful that its light can reach Earth even from distances greater than 200 million light-years. But wait, that's not all. Quasars form when giant black holes with masses ranging from millions to billions of solar masses consume surrounding gas and dust. This process creates a powerful accretion disk where material is heated to incredible temperatures and begins to emit light in the range of X-ray and optical waves. What's even more astonishing? The luminosity of a quasar can reach 30 trillion solar luminosities, making them the brightest objects in the universe. They are so bright that they can outshine entire galaxies. While our own galaxy, the Milky Way, contains only one black hole at its center, quasars can be found in galaxies where black holes are actively consuming matter. This leads to the formation of jets that can hurl matter at speeds up to 80% the speed of light. Now imagine this. These jets can create enormous radio waves that we can detect from Earth. The study of quasars has opened new horizons in understanding the evolution of galaxies and can provide insights into the formation of the earliest structures in the universe. But that's not all. Some quasars can have such powerful outbursts that they influence their galaxy, preventing the formation of new stars. This can trigger a chain of changes in the galaxy's structure, controlling how many stars can be born in a given region. Furthermore, quasars can act as beacons for astronomers. Their light allows us to study dark corners of the cosmos that were previously inaccessible for observation. For instance, using the luminosity of quasars, scientists can study the distribution of dark matter in the universe, which in turn helps us unravel the mysteries of its origin and future. And the craziest part? Some quasars are located more than 10 billion light-years away from us, meaning we see their light that left these objects when the universe was still young. Pulsars are indeed extraordinary cosmic phenomena that rotate at incredible speeds, reaching several hundred revolutions per second. Imagine this. One of the fastest pulsars, PSRJ 174 8-2446 AD, rotates at a frequency of 11,600 revolutions per minute. These neutron stars, formed as a result of supernova explosions, possess such powerful gravity that a teaspoon of their substance weighs around 1.5 billion tons. What is truly fascinating is that during their rapid rotations, pulsars emit radio waves with such precision that they can be used to measure time with an accuracy comparable to atomic clocks. This has opened new horizons for astronomers. Imagine using these cosmic clocks to study gravitational waves that penetrate through cosmic space, causing fluctuations in the structure of time and space. And now, the most astonishing part, pulsars emit radio waves in the form of regular pulses, which can be perceived as signals. These pulses are so stable that astronomers can use them to test Einstein's theory of relativity. This means they can detect even the slightest deviations in the gravitational field, allowing scientists to verify how well our theories explain the behavior of the universe. But that's not all. Some pulsars even form binary systems, orbiting around other stars, which creates additional opportunities for studying their interactions and behavior in the cosmos. For example, pulsar PSRB 1913+16, discovered in 1974, is part of a binary system and was the first object to confirm the existence of gravitational waves predicted by Einstein. These waves were detected in 2015, and this discovery was a true revolution in astronomy. There are even pulsars that can serve as indicators of exoplanets. When a planet passes in front of a pulsar, the time of arrival of the radio signal changes, allowing astronomers to draw conclusions about the presence of planets around these stars. And what's even more shocking, research shows that pulsars could potentially be used to create navigational systems for space travel that could function even when GPS is unavailable. This opens new horizons for astronauts exploring distant corners of our galaxy. Dark matter is a true cosmic enigma, making up approximately 27% of the entire universe, and the most intriguing aspect is that we cannot see it. It does not emit light and does not absorb it, but its presence is felt through gravitational effects. For instance, when astronomers observe the rotation of galaxies, they notice that stars at the periphery move at the same speed as those closer to the center. This contradicts the laws of physics, where stars at the edge should move slower because they are farther from the central mass. However, in this case, the explanation lies in dark matter. Its gravity holds the stars in place, creating the illusion of stability. And what is even more astonishing, in 2012, astronomers from the University of California, Berkeley, discovered that dark matter forms a kind of web that spans the entire universe. This structure resembles a spider's web, where galaxies are at the nodes, and dark matter connects them. And if you think that's all, wait. Recent research using the Hubble Space Telescope has allowed scientists to create three-dimensional maps of dark matter distribution, which show that it is concentrated in certain areas, forming bubbles around galaxies. This discovery challenges our understanding of the very nature of matter and energy. And what's most fascinating? Research suggests that dark matter may consist of particles that we cannot yet detect, such as WIMPs, weakly interacting massive particles, or even something even more exotic, which raises questions that we have not yet answered. And now, scientists are launching new experiments, such as the Ella-Zeppelin project, which aims to capture these elusive particles. But here's the question. If dark matter makes up almost a third of the universe, how does it influence our understanding of the very existence of matter? At the center of our galaxy, in the Sagittarius B2 cloud, there is an incredible amount of ethanol, equivalent to 30 billion liters. Imagine a whole cosmic cloud filled with ethanol, enough to fill thousands of bathyscaphs. This cloud, located approximately 26,000 light-years from Earth, has become a magnet for astronomers. It contains not only ethanol, but also complex hydrocarbons and molecules necessary for the formation of life. But how can such a thing exist in space? The fact is that in this cloud, a unique process occurs. Ethanol molecules are formed as a result of the interaction of gases and dust in low-temperature conditions. This means that in a place like Sagittarius B2, even lifeless elements can create a basis for life. But that's not all. Formaldehyde molecules have also been found in the cloud, which is a crucial building block for organic chemistry. Do you know what this means? It could indicate the presence of other complex molecules necessary for the creation of life, and possibly even the existence of planetary systems where life could have developed. Scientists believe that Sagittarius B2 may contain more than 400 million billion liters of ethanol, making it the largest known source of this substance in the cosmos. But how can this discovery change our understanding of the origin of life? The questions raised by this cloud are endless. For example, how could this cloud have formed initially? And what if the ethanol, similar to what we use on Earth, was once the basis for life on planets in its vicinity? And now the most incredible thing. In Sagittarius B2, there may not only be ethanol molecules, but also traces of other organic compounds that could indicate even more complex chemical processes. And this opens doors to incredible possibilities for astronomers and biologists who strive to understand what life might look like beyond our planet. But do you know what is even more intriguing? Scientific research shows that there may be many more clouds like Sagittarius B2 in the cosmos, and each of them could contain billions of liters of these chemical substances waiting for humanity to uncover their secrets. The Sloan Great Wall is not just an astronomical phenomenon, but a vast galactic structure stretching over 1,370,000,000 light-years. Imagine a massive formation consisting of more than 20,000 galaxies held together by gravitational forces, making it one of the largest known objects in the universe. Moreover, these galaxies are arranged in such a way that immense voids form between them, sometimes reaching a diameter of up to 100 million light-years. What's most astonishing is that if we could see this structure from a distance, it would appear as a gigantic web spanning the cosmic expanse. But that's not all. The Sloan Great Wall was discovered in 1998 when astronomers began actively using new observation methods and data analysis techniques. Notably, this discovery was made possible by the Sloan Digital Sky Survey, which conducted extensive sky surveys covering vast areas. Each piece of this survey contains information about millions of galaxies, and what's even more shocking is that these galaxies possess various properties such as age, composition, and velocity. For instance, some of them are moving towards us, while others are receding at incredible speeds. Now imagine that within this gigantic formation, there are galaxies located more than 1 billion light-years away from us. This means that light from them has traveled through space for billions of years before reaching our eyes. What's even more intriguing is that within this structure, astronomers have found numerous quasars. These are bright and powerful light sources that can be millions of times brighter than our own galaxy. Their energy is so great that they can outshine entire galaxies. These quasars are located at the edges of the Sloan Great Wall, like beacons in the dark sky, and their study can help scientists better understand the processes of galaxy formation and the evolution of the universe. And now the question arises, how do these masses of galaxies interact with each other? The answer to this question could lead to new discoveries about the structure and dynamics of our cosmos. Such massive objects as the Sloan Great Wall open doors to unexplored territories in astronomy, where each new finding can change our understanding of the universe. Did you know that some galaxies in this wall are so close to each other that they might even merge? Attention, space enthusiasts, molecules of alcohol have been discovered in the gas clouds from which stars are born. Imagine a vast cosmos where cold and emptiness reign, yet there exists a whole world of organic compounds. Studies conducted by astronomers using observatories like ALMA, Atacama Large Millimeter/Submillimeter Array, have revealed the presence of ethanol and other alcohols in enormous molecular clouds. These clouds are larger than 30 light-years and consist of dust and gas from which stars are born. But these are not just chemical compounds, they play a crucial role in the process of life formation. Pause for a moment. We all know that water is essential for life, but now a new mystery arises. How does alcohol influence the chemical evolution of the cosmos? Besides ethanol, other molecules such as methanol and formaldehyde, which can be precursors to more complex organic compounds, have also been identified. And here's the most intriguing part. These molecules can serve as building blocks for the creation of potentially life-bearing molecules on other planets. In some regions, such as the Orion Nebula, the concentration of these molecules can reach 30% of the total gas composition. This raises the question, how do they interact with other elements in the cosmos? How can these molecules become the basis for life on exoplanets? Astronomers continue to study these molecules using powerful telescopes to understand how they can influence the formation of planets and stars. And what's even more astonishing, in the clouds where alcohol molecules were found, traces of amino acids, the basic building blocks of proteins, have also been observed. This raises important questions about how life could have arisen not only on Earth, but also in other corners of the universe. Research shows that some molecular clouds may have conditions necessary for the formation of complex organic compounds. But how exactly do these molecules transform into something more? These discoveries pose new mysteries that require deep analysis and further research. In this cosmic drama, alcohol molecules are not just simple chemical compounds, they are key players in humanity's quest to understand where we came from and how life can exist in other corners of the galaxy. And what's most fascinating, these molecules may also contain information about the chemical processes occurring in the early stages of star and planet formation, opening new horizons for astrophysicists. Cosmic strings are hypothetical one-dimensional defects in the structure of space-time that may have formed during the birth of the universe. According to string theory, these strings could be as short as a few Planck units, which is approximately 10 to the minus 35th power of a meter. Imagine that this is smaller than the diameter of a proton by trillions of times. But what is truly intriguing is that these strings may not only exist but also interact with matter, creating invisible effects that could explain phenomena such as dark matter. What is even more fascinating, if cosmic strings do exist, they could form complex configurations known as string networks. These networks could create gravitational fields that influence the motion of stars and galaxies, acting like invisible threads connecting space and time. But that's not all. Some physicists suggest that these strings could be a source of energy far exceeding our wildest expectations. For instance, if a string collapses, it could release an enormous amount of energy, equivalent to millions of tons of TNT. Now imagine all this happening in an invisible world right before our eyes. How is this possible? It turns out that cosmic strings can exist in different states. Some may be closed, while others are open. Closed strings can form loops that lead to the creation of new particles, while open strings can interact with ordinary matter. And here is where it gets really mind-bending. These strings could be linked to quantum effects that occur at the level of elementary particles. This could mean that if we ever managed to detect them, it would revolutionize our understanding of physics. And what is perhaps the most shocking? Research shows that even if cosmic strings are invisible, their influence on the cosmic structure could be significant on cosmic scales, possibly even at the level of galaxy formation. All this opens up new avenues for research and could change our view of the very nature of the universe. When an object approaches a black hole, it is subjected to an incredibly strong effect known as cosmic spaghettification. Imagine a star the size of the Sun stretching into a long thread, like spaghetti, as it is pulled by the powerful gravity. In this process, called spaghettification, the tidal forces of the black hole act on different parts of the object with varying intensity. For example, if you were to fall into a black hole, your feet would experience a much stronger gravitational pull than your head. Approximately 30 meters before the event horizon of the black hole, the gravitational forces would become so strong that they would tear your body apart at the atomic level. This happens because the gravitational force of a black hole can reach values exceeding 1 billion times the gravitational force of Earth. But that's not the most astonishing part. Once an object crosses the event horizon, it can no longer return, and all its parts begin to be pulled irrevocably towards the center of the black hole, where infinite density and gravity reign. What's even more shocking? This phenomenon was predicted by Albert Einstein in his theory of relativity, written over a century ago, but only recently have physicists been able to begin studying its consequences using powerful telescopes and supercomputer simulations. In one experiment conducted in 2018, astronomers observed a star that, as it approached a black hole, exhibited signs of spaghettification, with the length of the stretched object exceeding 100 meters. This confirms the theory that the gravity of black holes can not only destroy objects but also create impressive visual effects that can be observed from a distance. But wait, there's more. Imagine that the gravity of a black hole can affect not only matter but also light. Light passing near a black hole is bent in such a way that it creates a gravitational lensing effect, allowing scientists to see objects that are billions of light years away. So, when you look at the stars, remember, somewhere out there in the depths of the cosmos, black holes are spaghettifying matter and bending light, creating a captivating picture of the universe filled with mysteries and enigmas. Nurseries of stars. These are incredible regions in space where new stars are born from gigantic clouds of gas and dust. Imagine the Eagle Nebula, known as Messier 16. This nebula is located about 2,500 light-years away from Earth and spans 36 light-years in diameter. Within this magnificent cosmic cloud, a truly magical process takes place. Hydrogen and helium molecules collide and compress under the force of gravity, forming dense clumps that eventually become stars. But what is astonishing is that this process gives birth not to a single star, but entire star clusters. For example, in the Eagle Nebula, more than 30 new stars have already been registered, and this is just the beginning. But that's not the most peculiar thing. Do you know what happens when stars form in such clouds? They release an enormous amount of energy which triggers the birth of new stars. These stars begin to emit bright light that heats the surrounding gas, causing it to glow. In the Eagle Nebula, you can see bright, glowing regions called emission nebulae, where gas becomes visible due to the light of new stars. It's like a cosmic show that can only be observed through telescopes. Now imagine this. Inside the Eagle Nebula, there are areas where the gas density is 100 times higher than the surrounding space. This creates ideal conditions for star formation. In these places, gas clouds begin to rotate, and as a result, protoplanetary disks form, from which planets can later emerge. It's hard to imagine that stars like our Sun can be born in such conditions, and their journey to life begins right here. But what's even more shocking, when young stars are born, they can expel powerful streams of matter known as stellar winds. These winds can reach speeds of up to 100 kilometers per second and can clear the surrounding space of remaining gas and dust, leaving behind a bare star. In the Eagle Nebula, such processes are observed everywhere, and they play a crucial role in the formation of new star systems. In the end, this cosmic cycle continues for millions of years until new stars become mature and begin to create their own nurseries of stars. And here's where it gets really crazy. Stars not only form planets but can also explode at the end of their lives, creating nebulae that again become homes for new stars. Thus, the Eagle Nebula is not just a place of star birth, but a part of an endless cosmic cycle that has been going on since time immemorial. The number of stars born in such nebulae can reach thousands, and each has its own unique path. In the Eagle Nebula, more than 30 stars have been recorded, and this is just the beginning of their story. Beyond the orbit of Neptune lies the mysterious Kuiper Belt, filled with icy objects, and its dimensions are astonishing. It stretches over more than 1 billion kilometers. Imagine a vast region inhabited by thousands of minor planets, comets, and asteroids, including Pluto, which was once considered the 9th planet of our solar system. But that's not all. Astronomers estimate that the Kuiper Belt may contain up to 100,000 objects with a diameter of more than 100 kilometers. You might expect such distances to result in cold and lifeless bodies, but icy objects can contain complex molecules that could serve as the basis for life. For instance, Pluto has an atmosphere composed mainly of nitrogen, with small amounts of methane and carbon monoxide, and its surface is covered with icy plains and mountain ranges reaching heights of up to 3 kilometers. Now imagine how such icy worlds could have formed. The secret lies in the fact that the Kuiper Belt formed from the same cloud of gas and dust that gave birth to the main planets. But here's the fascinating part. Hidden within this belt are not only the objects we know, but also potential candidates for the discovery of new planets. For example, astronomers suspect the existence of objects that could even be larger than Pluto. If you thought Pluto was the end of the story, consider this. In 2018, astronomers discovered an object called Arrokoth on the edge of the Kuiper Belt with a diameter of around 400 kilometers. This discovery raises many questions about the nature of our solar system and the mysteries it may still hold. And did you know that some of these icy objects can be active? For example, comets entering the inner part of the solar system can release gas and dust, creating bright tails. So the next time you look at the night sky, think about the distant world hidden beyond Neptune, filled with mysteries and discoveries. On Titan, Saturn's moon, there is something astonishing: methane lakes that cover an area larger than all the Great Lakes on Earth combined. Imagine not just frozen bodies of water, but actual lakes where methane and ethane can exist in liquid form, making this moon unique in our solar system. But that's not all. Titan's atmosphere is composed of 81% nitrogen, which is 1.5 times denser than Earth's atmosphere. Mentally transport yourself to a world where clouds are made of methane rain and the surface temperature reaches minus 155 degrees Celsius. This makes Titan remarkably similar to ancient Earth, when it also had vast bodies of water and a warmer, wetter climate. But what's even more shocking, complex organic molecules have been discovered on Titan that could serve as building blocks for life. This raises a fascinating question. What if life, similar to ours, once existed or still exists in those strange methane oceans? Research has shown that beneath Titan's icy crust may lie an ocean of liquid water, making it an ideal candidate for the search for life. The Cassini mission, which studied Titan for over a decade, collected a wealth of data supporting the idea that this moon could have the necessary conditions for life to arise. And here's where it gets truly mind-boggling. Complex hydrocarbons have been found in Titan's atmosphere that can interact with water, creating potentially habitable environments. Moreover, Titan's methane lakes could be analogous to Earth's oceans, where simple forms of life might have evolved. If you thought such conditions were only possible on our planet, you're in for a surprise. Due to its dense atmosphere and presence of hydrocarbons, Titan could have an ecosystem vastly different from Earth's. But what's truly intriguing is that further research may seem almost mystical, as some scientists suggest that Titan might hold the key to understanding how life could have developed in conditions far from what we're familiar with. And here's the most mind-boggling part. Titan is the only known place in our entire solar system where a stable surface and liquid water coexist, opening the door to incredible discoveries. Imagine a planet where a day lasts longer than a year. This is not a fantasy, but a reality on Venus. A full rotation around its axis takes 243 Earth days, while a full orbit around the Sun takes only 225 days. Consider these numbers. A day on Venus is almost 80 days longer than a year. The reason lies in the fact that Venus rotates very slowly around its axis, and this slow rotation creates unique climatic conditions. The temperature on the surface reaches almost 800 degrees Celsius, making it the hottest planet in the solar system, even hotter than Mercury, which is closer to the Sun. But that's not all. Atmospheric pressure on Venus is 90 times higher than on Earth. It's like being at a depth of almost 1 kilometer underwater. And now imagine that in such an atmosphere, carbon dioxide makes up 95%. These conditions create a greenhouse effect, making Venus a true hell. But what is truly astonishing, despite these extreme conditions, there are clouds in the upper layers of the atmosphere containing sulfuric acid, creating an effect similar to acid rain. However, if you think Venus is simply lifeless, you are mistaken. Microorganisms may exist in the atmosphere, capable of surviving such conditions. Scientists even suggest that life could be found at heights of 30 to 40 kilometers, where temperature and pressure are more suitable. And what is even more shocking? Scientists continue to search for signs of possible life in the clouds of Venus, and recent research has shown mysterious phosphines, which could indicate biological activity. But how is this possible in such conditions? This is a question that the scientific community is trying to answer. While missions to Venus, such as Venus 10 and Venus Scientific, continue to be planned, we can only speculate about the other mysteries this enigmatic planet may hold. And what is even more intriguing, recently astronomers discovered that Venus may have hidden geological activities, such as volcanoes, which could potentially be active. But imagine if these volcanoes could erupt lava and gases into the atmosphere, creating additional changes in its climate. On Pluto, an astonishing discovery has been made, a vast light area in the shape of a heart, known as the Plutonian Heart. This region, covering an area of approximately 1 million square kilometers, consists of frozen nitrogen, methane, and carbon dioxide. Imagine ice plains, pristine and brilliant, stretching for many kilometers, gleaming against the dark expanse of space. Furthermore, the temperature on the surface of this mysterious planet is minus 250 degrees Celsius. But that's not the most peculiar thing. In various parts of this heart, unique geological formations are observed, such as hills up to 1 kilometer high, which appear to have recently formed. How is this possible on such a distant planet? The answer lies in Pluto's complex dynamics. Beneath the surface, there may be an ocean of liquid which creates conditions for geological activity. What's even more remarkable, these icy formations contain traces of organic compounds, such as complex carbohydrates. This could mean that Pluto once had conditions that could support life. Additionally, the Plutonian Heart has craters and scars that indicate it has been subjected to impacts from meteoroids and other celestial bodies. The elements found here can reveal Pluto's past, and even how other celestial bodies in our solar system formed. Studies show that frozen nitrogen can, under certain conditions, turn into gas, creating atmospheric phenomena on the planet. But this is not the only thing that fascinates astronomers. This heart-shaped area of the planet may change over time, opening up new avenues for study. Now imagine beneath the ice there are even more incredible mysteries waiting to be discovered. Scientific missions such as New Horizons continue to study Pluto, and each new analysis of data can uncover completely new facts about the composition and history of this remote planet. How many more secrets does this icy world hide? On Enceladus, a moon of Saturn, true natural wonders are occurring. Geysers of water are erupting from cracks in the icy shell, reaching heights of up to 500 kilometers. Imagine this: water jets rising so high that they can cross the orbit of the moon itself. These geysers release water vapor and ice particles into space, forming clouds that then coalesce into Saturn's rings. But that's not all. Analysis of data from the Cassini probe has shown that the water from the geysers contains not only ordinary molecules, but also complex organic compounds. How is this possible on a small moon with a thin atmosphere? The secret lies in the fact that beneath the icy shell lies a global ocean with a depth of several tens of kilometers. Scientists suggest that this subsurface ocean could have conditions suitable for life. What's even more surprising? The temperature in this ocean could be above zero, thanks to geothermal heat emanating from the moon's interior. This discovery challenges our understanding of where life might exist in our solar system. Scientific models indicate that in such conditions, microorganisms similar to those found in Earth's deep oceans could develop. But how will scientists explore these distant worlds? One idea is to send a new probe to Enceladus, capable of landing on its icy surface and drilling through it to obtain water samples. This could shed light on questions about potential life and the chemical composition of the subsurface ocean. And imagine this: geysers ejecting water into space, while beneath the icy shell lies an entire world waiting to be discovered. Water jets could contain traces of life, making Enceladus such an intriguing object for research. Water geysers erupting from cracks can reach speeds of up to 300 kilometers per hour, making them some of the most powerful natural phenomena in our solar system. And what if these water jets carry molecules that were once part of living organisms? So what secrets does this icy shell hide? On the moon, the clear traces of astronauts who walked on its surface during the Apollo missions remain. Imagine this: on this lifeless celestial body where there is no atmosphere, rain, or wind, the footprints will last for millions of years. Moreover, they are in such a state that even details can be seen. Impressions of the soles of the astronauts' boots are clearly visible in the lunar dust. It's fascinating that this dust is composed of tiny particles formed over millennia as a result of micrometeoroid impacts that have bombarded the moon. And the most amazing thing is that since the moon lacks an atmosphere, there are no processes that could blur or erase these traces. Unlike Earth, where erosion and atmospheric phenomena constantly change the landscape, on the moon, everything remains unchanged. For example, the traces left by the Apollo 11 mission by Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin in 1969 are still clearly visible. These traces, about 30 centimeters long, are not just a monument, but also a significant historical record. What is even more astonishing is that each time a micrometeoroid hits the moon, it not only does not erase these traces, but also adds a new layer of history, creating a unique temporal archive. The Apollo traces are not just traces. They are a window into the past that will allow future generations to learn about the first steps of humans on the moon. And if we look into the distant future, these traces may be the only signs of human activity, when on Earth there are only legends left. The lunar surface covered in dust may seem monotonous, but in reality, it holds thousands of years of history in every square centimeter. And what is truly intriguing is that when humanity returns to the moon, it may find not only its own traces, but also many other mysteries waiting to be revealed in this silent yet rich in secrets world. On Jupiter, polar auroras are stunning in their scale, being hundreds of times more powerful than on Earth. Imagine this. On a planet with a magnetic field 30 times stronger than ours, these light shows can reach heights of up to 1,000 kilometers, illuminating the atmosphere with vibrant colors reminiscent of fireworks. How is this possible? The key lies in the fact that Jupiter is a giant gas planet, and its atmosphere contains vast clouds of particles that interact with its magnetic field. When high-speed electrons from the solar wind collide with these particles, they produce a glow that can be seen from great distances. But that's not all. On Jupiter, polar auroras are not only observed at the poles but also in equatorial regions, creating a unique phenomenon. Now imagine that Saturn also has polar auroras, but they appear differently. Instead of bright flashes, there are softer yet equally beautiful lights that change their intensity depending on solar activity. Did you know that Uranus and Neptune also have polar auroras, although they are less bright? On Neptune, they often occur due to interactions with internal energy sources, not just the solar wind. This creates unpredictable but mesmerizing effects that scientists are just beginning to study. It's fascinating that all these auroras occur against the backdrop of extraordinary atmospheric conditions. On Jupiter, for example, there are storms that can last for decades and reach sizes larger than Earth. The most famous of these is the Great Red Spot, which constantly changes as if it were a living entity. Scientists believe that polar auroras on other planets can provide insights into how Earth's magnetosphere and atmosphere work, opening new horizons in understanding our place in the universe. Did you know that even on Kerberos, one of Pluto's moons, there can be polar auroras? This discovery was a shock to astronomers as the planet is so far from the Sun. All this cosmic kaleidoscope shows us that our solar system is full of endless mysteries that still need to be solved. Every day, approximately 100 tons of cosmic material falls to Earth, and this is not just dust, it is genuine fragments of the universe that have traveled billions of kilometers. Imagine standing on the street and watching a meteorite pass overhead, burning up in the atmosphere and leaving a bright trail. Each year, this cosmic dust brings more than 30,000 tons of materials to our planet. But what are these materials? Primarily, they are microscopic particles formed from the destruction of comets and asteroids that were once part of larger cosmic bodies. The most fascinating thing is that these particles can contain carbon compounds necessary for life, and sometimes even amino acids, the building blocks of proteins. Micrometeoroids, typically the size of a grain of sand, have a significant impact on our planet. They can not only enrich the soil with elements but also influence the climate, as some of these particles remain in the atmosphere, reflecting sunlight. But that's not the most astonishing part. Around 7% of the meteorites that have fallen to Earth have an extraterrestrial origin, and some of them have even passed through our solar system before reaching our planet. For example, the Alenka meteorite found in Russia is billions of years old and contains minerals that have never been found on Earth. These tiny fragments can tell us how our solar system formed. And now consider this. In the oceans and on land there are millions of such particles that may contain information about cosmic events that occurred long before humans appeared. What's even more shocking? Some of these particles may carry microbiological traces that could be related to the formation of life on other planets. If you thought the cosmos was distant and inaccessible, it turns out that it constantly interacts with us. Every piece of meteorite that touches our planet is a testament to our connection with the vast cosmos. And these connections continue to amaze scientists, opening new horizons in the study of extraterrestrial life and the origins of our planet. In the cosmos, there exist mysterious objects known as magnetars, neutron stars with magnetic fields that are trillions of times stronger than Earth's. To grasp the scale of their power, imagine that a magnetar's magnetic field can pull objects weighing a ton to itself from several kilometers away. These stars form as a result of the collapse of massive stars that have exhausted their fuel and exploded as supernovae. The remaining core then compresses to an incredible density. 1 teaspoon of magnetar material weighs around 5 billion tons. But that's not all. Their rotation also causes powerful gamma-ray bursts that can be seen over billions of light-years. For instance, a magnetar named SGR 1900 plus 14 in 2001 released a burst of energy equivalent to what our Sun emits over 30 years. But how do they maintain such colossal magnetic fields? The secret lies in a process called supermagnetism, where the star rotates so fast that its magnetic fields overlap, creating extraordinary forces. Did you know that only 12 magnetars are known in our galaxy? This makes them some of the rarest and most intriguing objects in the universe. And what's truly fascinating is that magnetars can alter their magnetic fields, leading to unusual phenomena such as bursts, explosions of energy that can trigger electromagnetic storms on Earth. But there's more. In 2009, a magnetar named 1E1048.1-5937 was discovered, which emits such powerful radiation that its effects can be felt even at distances of millions of light-years. This discovery challenges our understanding of stellar physics and their interactions. How can these extreme conditions influence the formation of other celestial bodies? This is what truly intrigues astronomers around the world. The spacecraft Voyager 1 became the first human-made object to leave the boundaries of the solar system, and its mission continues to amaze. Imagine this. It was launched in 1977 and is currently over 24 billion kilometers away from Earth. Yes, that's nearly 8 times the distance to Pluto, but that's not all. Voyager 1 is moving at a speed of around 40 kilometers per second, and its journey through the cosmic void continues to this day. Did you know that on board this spacecraft is a golden record containing sounds and images representing life on Earth? It was created with the hope that someday extraterrestrial civilizations might find it and learn about our existence. The record includes over 120 images, including photographs of Earth's nature and even musical compositions ranging from Beethoven to African folk songs. But that's not the most astonishing part. Voyager 1 has already transmitted data on phenomena like solar winds and magnetic fields, allowing scientists to better understand their impact on our solar system. When it left the solar system, Voyager 1 became the first object to cross the heliopause, the boundary where solar influence begins to wane. And here's what's even more shocking. It continues to transmit data, despite having been launched over 45 years ago. Currently, the spacecraft is heading towards the star Gliese, which is over 23 light-years away from us. This means that even if Voyager 1 were traveling at the speed of light, it would still take over 20 years to reach this star. Now imagine the incredible journey it has already made, and what still lies ahead. Each of its signals is a small window into the unknown, and every new data analysis can reveal entirely new facts about what lies beyond our solar system. Astronomers and astronauts constantly encounter mysteries that evoke amazement. Did you know that astronauts stepping out into open space describe its smell as something strange, reminiscent of a mixture of hot metal, welding, and even fried meat? This unusual phenomenon, known as the cosmic smell, arises due to particles that remain on spacesuits after exiting into space. These particles, composed of various chemical elements and compounds, form as a result of interaction with the cosmic environment. Imagine that after a prolonged stay in the vacuum, the spacesuits retain traces of particles that, upon returning to the atmosphere, begin to evaporate and create this unique aroma. NASA research has confirmed that the smell can vary depending on the location of the spacewalk. Now imagine that in this cosmic smell, traces of elements such as carbon, hydrogen, and even oxygen can be detected. But that's not all. Some astronauts notice that this smell can evoke memories of home-cooked dishes such as fried meat, causing them to feel nostalgic even in orbit. What do you think is really causing this sensation? Scientists suggest that it may be how our brain reacts to certain chemical substances, associating them with familiar smells. There is a belief that these associations may be deeply ingrained in our consciousness, allowing us to feel closer to home even in the conditions of space. Moreover, smells in space are not just a coincidence. They can provide valuable information about the composition of interstellar space. For example, the frequencies of radiation we can register can reveal not only the secrets of our solar system but also other galaxies. What's even more astonishing, some researchers claim that the smell of space can open new horizons in the study of cosmic phenomena and even in the search for extraterrestrial life. In this context, the smell becomes not just a sensation but a true indicator of the state of the surrounding environment. And here's something interesting. The smells we perceive on Earth can be perceived completely differently in the conditions of microgravity. This means that perhaps in the future we will be able to create unique aromas that will be associated with space travel. And this opens up a whole new world for scientific research and developments that are just beginning to emerge. Have you ever wondered what space really smells like? On a neutron star, one day can last only a few milliseconds. Imagine. These incredible objects rotate at such speeds that they can complete several hundred revolutions in just 1 second. For comparison, this is equivalent to the speed at which bowling balls would rotate if they could spin at least 30 times faster. At the center of such a star lies incredibly dense matter composed of neutrons, which form as a result of the collapse of a massive star. The density on a neutron star is such that 1 cubic centimeter of this substance weighs around 100 million tons, more than the entire weight of Mount Everest. But what is most astonishing? Due to such density and rotation speed, neutron stars create powerful magnetic fields millions of times stronger than Earth's magnetic field. These fields can pull electrons out of the surrounding space, creating enormous energy flows that are emitted as radio waves. This phenomenon makes neutron stars the most powerful sources of radio waves in the universe, and that is why some of them become pulsars, stars that emit regular bursts of radiation that we can detect on Earth. Isn't that fascinating? Due to their incredible rotational speed and density, time on the surface of a neutron star flows differently. If you spend just 1 second there, an eternity would pass on Earth. Imagine how this affects the perception of time. And now imagine that such stars are not alone. Scientists suggest that there may be up to 1 billion neutron stars in the universe, opening up new horizons for study. Each of them can tell us about the processes occurring in the depths of the universe, meaning we are only beginning to unravel the mystery of their nature. One such star, PSRJ 1748-2446 AD, rotates at a speed of more than 70 revolutions per second, making it one of the fastest known neutron stars. How is this possible? The answer lies in physics, which remains a mystery for many scientists. At the center of the galaxy M87 lies a supermassive black hole with a mass of more than 67 billion solar masses, 10 times greater than the black hole at the center of our own galaxy. But what is truly astonishing is that the first image of this black hole was obtained in 2019 by the Event Horizon Telescope project, which combined data from 8 radio telescopes scattered across the planet. This achievement was a true breakthrough in astronomy and caused a huge stir worldwide. To obtain this image, scientists used a technique known as interferometry, which allowed them to create a virtual telescope the size of Earth. Now imagine that this image does not show the black hole itself, but a bright halo of gas and dust orbiting around it, forming an accretion disk. This structure is so hot that it emits light in the X-ray range, and the temperature in its center reaches millions of degrees Celsius. Additionally, this black hole is located approximately 600 million light-years away from us, making it one of the most distant objects we have ever seen. But that's not the most peculiar thing. Black holes like the one in M87 can influence the surrounding space so strongly that even light cannot escape their gravity. And what's even more amazing, the energy released during the accretion process can be so powerful that it forms powerful relativistic jets, spewing out from the poles of the black hole and stretching for thousands of light years into space. These jets contain high-energy particles that can interact with intergalactic gas and influence the formation of new stars and galaxies. Thus, the black hole in M87 not only captures everything around it, but also actively shapes the surrounding cosmos. In the cosmos, there exist extraordinary objects known as blazars, and their characteristics are simply astonishing. Imagine a quasar that emits an incredible amount of energy, and its jets, streams of matter, are directed straight towards Earth. But this is not just a fantasy. Blazars are located at distances up to 2 billion light-years from us and can eject matter at speeds exceeding 100% of the speed of light. Yes, you heard it right. This is possible due to relativistic effects. These cosmic giants can emit 1 million times more energy than all the stars in our galaxy combined. At the heart of a blazar lies a supermassive black hole with a mass equivalent to billions of solar masses. Just imagine how it consumes surrounding matter, creating such powerful jets that they can traverse entire galaxies. But that's not all. These jets do not just destroy everything in their path, they can even create new stars when they collide with surrounding gas. What is even more shocking, some astronomers believe that blazars may be responsible for gamma-ray bursts, the most powerful explosions in the universe. Moreover, when we observe blazars, we are essentially looking into the past. Light from them can travel to us for billions of years, and we see them as they were during the formation of galaxies. Additionally, blazars can change their brightness over short periods, sometimes in just days or even hours. This is due to the fact that jets can change depending on the activity of the black hole. And what is truly captivating, thanks to these objects, scientists obtain unique data on the structure of the universe and how black holes interact with their surroundings. Blazars are also used to study dark matter and dark energy, which make up a large part of our cosmos. For example, some research shows that blazars can help us understand how dark energy spreads, influencing the expansion of the universe. And now imagine that in the future, we could use blazars as cosmic lighthouses for long-distance travel. These powerful light sources could become navigation points for space explorers who aim to conquer new horizons. Considering all this information, one can only speculate about the mysteries that these magnificent objects may still hold, and how they could change our understanding of the cosmos. The cosmos is an incredible place where sound, as we normally understand it, simply does not exist. Why? Because a vacuum does not transmit sound waves, and therefore, in the vast expanses of the universe, we do not hear familiar sounds like screams or rustling. But wait, there's an interesting detail. Although there is no sound per se, there are electromagnetic oscillations that NASA and other research organizations use to study the cosmos. These oscillations are created by various phenomena, such as solar flares or interactions between planetary magnetic fields. Specifically, NASA transforms these oscillations into sounds so that we can hear the cosmos. How does this happen? Special instruments, such as spectroscopes, capture electromagnetic waves, and then using software, these signals are converted into sound waves that we can reproduce. For example, sounds recorded from planets like Jupiter resemble howls and hums, which are actually the result of particle interactions in its magnetosphere. And here's something even more astonishing. These sounds can be so low frequency that they are inaudible to the human ear, but they convey information about the dynamics of planetary systems and even the solar wind. Do you know what's even more amazing? NASA specialists have created an entire library of cosmic sounds, where you can hear incredible songs of various celestial bodies. For example, the sound from Saturn's ring is reminiscent of something between a whisper and music. As a result, we can not only visualize but also listen to events happening in the distant cosmos, opening up new horizons for astronomy and astrophysics. But that's not all. Scientists continue to investigate how these electromagnetic oscillations can help us better understand mysterious phenomena like black holes or dark matter. And here's what's truly shocking. The sounds we receive from the cosmos may contain information about how galaxies formed billions of years ago. On Mars, the highest mountain in the solar system is the volcano Olympus, which reaches a height of 21 kilometers, 900 meters. This is 2.5 times higher than Mount Everest, the highest mountain on Earth. But how is this possible? The main reason is that Mars has almost no tectonic activity, allowing volcanoes to grow indefinitely. Olympus has a diameter of about 600 kilometers, which is comparable to the size of a country, and its base could cover an area similar to that of Texas. The volcano formed as a result of numerous eruptions over millions of years, leading to the accumulation of vast amounts of lava and ash. And now the most interesting part, its slopes have extensive areas covered with ice caps, and the temperature at its summit can drop to -100 degrees Celsius.
Imagine standing at the edge of a crater with a diameter of about 25 kilometers. But that's not all.
Olympus has traces of ancient lava flows that give the impression that the volcano was once a true giant, spewing magma tens of kilometers high. What's even more astonishing, scientists believe that this volcano could have been active just a few million years ago, and its eruptions could have influenced the climate of Mars. Scientific missions like Mars Express have provided data indicating that the slopes of Olympus contain giant cracks that may suggest the presence of hot magma beneath the surface. This could also explain the discovery of water ice on Mars, with ice deposits reaching thicknesses of up to 100 meters in some places. Olympus is not only an object of study but also a key to understanding the geological history of the planet. And the most incredible thing? Scientific research shows that similar volcanoes could exist on other planets, such as Venus, where conditions favor the formation of giant volcanoes. On Jupiter, a massive storm known as the Great Red Spot is raging. This is not just a storm, but a gigantic atmospheric vortex that has existed for more than 350 years. Imagine, this colossal formation could contain 3 Earths. Its dimensions are staggering. It has a diameter of around 80,000 kilometers, making it one of the largest known storms in our solar system. And that's not all. The wind speeds in this hurricane can reach 250 kilometers per hour. But how is this possible in conditions where the temperature on the upper clouds reaches -150 degrees Celsius? This is due to Jupiter's unique atmospheric dynamics, where powerful gas flows and thermal gradients create conditions for such colossal phenomena. Remarkably, the Great Red Spot is not the only such formation on the planet. Over the past few decades, astronomers have observed the appearance and disappearance of other storms, but none can compare to its scale. Interestingly, this storm not only does not abate but seems to be growing in size, or at least its shape is changing. Stephen Casper of NASA suggests that this is related to changes in Jupiter's atmosphere that could affect the stability of the storm. Now imagine seeing this storm up close. Its red color is caused by microscopic particles that reflect sunlight, creating this extraordinary hue. But did you know that some researchers believe that the Great Red Spot may eventually disappear? This seems incredible, but data show that it is losing its intensity, and within the next few decades, its size could significantly decrease. What will happen if this storm disappears? This leaves many questions about how Jupiter's atmosphere will change and what new mysteries it may reveal. In space, there are objects that challenge our understanding of stars and planets, brown dwarfs. These mysterious bodies have masses ranging from 30 to 80 times that of Jupiter, but not enough to initiate thermonuclear reactions like stars do. Imagine this. Brown dwarfs form from gas and dust clouds, but instead of becoming stars, they remain in the gap between stars and planets. Did you know how many such objects have been discovered? Over 300 brown dwarfs are known to astronomers, and their number is constantly growing. But that's not all. Some of them have their own planets orbiting around them, like moons. For example, the brown dwarf ULIR 0621-02, located just 37 light-years from Earth, has 2 moons. And here's what's astonishing. The surface temperature of a brown dwarf can reach up to 1400 degrees Celsius, making them some of the hottest objects in the universe. Yet, they do not shine like stars. Instead, they emit heat in the infrared range, making them hard to detect with ordinary telescopes. Now imagine that some brown dwarfs can even have clouds of water vapor and methane, which raises questions about where and how conditions for life might exist. Research shows that brown dwarfs can be very diverse. Some have comet-like tails, while others have atmospheres containing complex molecules. Astronomers call them failed stars. But there's more. There are theories that brown dwarfs can aid in the formation of planetary systems, as their gravity can influence the orbits of nearby bodies. In some cases, they can even capture a planet that gets too close. Brown dwarfs can also accelerate stars to more distant systems, making them significant players in the evolution of galaxies. And here's another interesting fact. NASA plans to use infrared observatories to better study brown dwarfs and their surroundings. This opens new horizons in astrophysics, and who knows what secrets they still hold. Did you know that in space, explosions occur that release more energy than all the stars in the universe over their entire lifetime? These are gamma-ray bursts, and they are the most powerful events ever observed by humanity. These colossal explosions can release as much energy in 1 second as our sun emits over 300 billion years. But how is this possible? Gamma-ray bursts arise from catastrophic cosmic events such as the merger of neutron stars or the collapse of massive stars into black holes. For example, one of the most powerful gamma-ray bursts ever recorded by astronomers occurred in 2004 and was named GRB 0414. Its energy was equivalent to 1 trillion solar masses, and its light reached Earth after 2 billion years. And that's not all. Scientists expect similar events to occur in our galaxy and closely monitor potential candidates. Every time a gamma-ray burst occurs, it creates a brilliant flash that can be seen over billions of light years. But how do astronomers determine the source of such powerful bursts? They use satellite networks like SWIFT from NASA, which can detect gamma-ray bursts and track their sources. When such an explosion occurs, the satellite immediately records it and sends information to Earth, allowing astronomers to direct telescopes to study the aftermath. What's even more astonishing? Gamma-ray bursts can last from a few milliseconds to several hours, and their brightness can temporarily outshine an entire galaxy. This creates a unique opportunity to study not only these explosions, but also the processes occurring in the cosmos. In 2015, astronomers detected a gamma-ray burst so powerful that its energy was equivalent to the energy of 100 billion suns. Each new gamma-ray burst opens doors to understanding the fundamental processes occurring in the universe and provides insights into how stars and galaxies form. And the most incredible thing? Each gamma-ray burst may contain clues about how life arose on Earth and the conditions for its existence on other planets. Did you know what happens on exoplanets of the hot Jupiter's class? On these giant worlds, temperatures can reach incredible values, up to 2,000 degrees Celsius. Imagine standing next to molten metal. But wait, that's not the strangest part. These planets, orbiting their stars at distances tens of times closer than Mercury to the Sun, are subjected to incredible winds whose speeds can reach 7,000 kilometers per hour. For comparison, That's faster than the speed of sound. And now, the most incredible thing, under these conditions, on these planets, it rains not water, but molten glass and iron. Picture this. Drops falling from the sky are actual chunks of molten material that can burn everything in their path. How is this possible? The answer lies in their atmosphere, rich in heavy metals and silicon. The wind, blowing with incredible force, carries these drops, creating real vortices of molten glass that can scatter them across the surface. There are exoplanets like WASP-121b where the temperature on the day side reaches unbearable values, creating unique atmospheric conditions. On such a planet, atmospheric pressure is tens of times higher than on Earth, allowing heavy elements to exist in a gaseous state. But these are not just hot worlds. They are real laboratories for studying extreme conditions. Scientists already suggest that on such planets there could be molecules that in normal conditions would be undetectable, and now imagine if we could study them in more detail using new space telescopes that are already in development. For example, the James Webb Space Telescope, launched in 2021, can detect molecules in the atmospheres of exoplanets and make astonishing discoveries. One day we might learn what other secrets these distant worlds hide and perhaps even find conditions where life could exist. Can you imagine what else might be hidden in these fiery worlds where glass drops fall from the sky? Planet HD 189733b is not just an exoplanet. It's a true hell where glass shards rain down. Imagine this. The surface temperature reaches almost 1,000 degrees Celsius. That's enough to melt lead, but on HD 189733b, this is just normal. How is this possible? The planet is extremely close to its star, with an orbit of just 2 days. But that's not all. Wind speeds on this planet can reach 8,700 kilometers per hour. To give you an idea, this is faster than the speed of sound. And the most shocking part? These hurricanes can tear apart silicate clouds which then fall to the surface as sharp shards. Picture this. Rain showers of glass droplets that burn everything in their path. If you were there, you wouldn't just get wet, you'd get burned. Scientific research shows that the atmosphere of HD 189733b contains vast amounts of water vapor, carbon dioxide, and silicates, creating perfect conditions for such extreme phenomena. But that's not all. The atmospheric composition of the planet also causes bright blue hues that can be seen from far away. Scientists suggest that this effect is due to the reflection of light from silicate clouds. It's interesting to note that HD 189733b was discovered in 2006 and has since become the subject of numerous studies. Now imagine that on such planets conditions could exist that we can't even fathom. What else can we learn about such distant worlds? Scientists continue to study this planet, hoping to uncover its secrets that could revolutionize our understanding of life in the cosmos. But what's even more intriguing is that new technologies allow us to peer into the atmospheres of these exoplanets, and perhaps in the next few years, we will be able to see what the weather is like on such distant worlds. The Crab Nebula in the constellation of Taurus is not just a cloud of gas and dust, but the remnant of a supernova explosion that shook the celestial sphere more than 1,000 years ago. Imagine this. In 1054, Chinese astronomers witnessed this monumental event, observing a bright star that shone for nearly 2 years before disappearing. The explosion was so powerful that its light could be seen even during the day. The nebula formed after this explosion has a diameter of approximately 6,000 light-years and continues to expand at a speed of more than 30 kilometers per second. But that's not all. This nebula is not only beautiful but also full of mysteries. Its shape resembles a crab's claw, from which it gets its name. The Crab Nebula is considered one of the most studied objects in astronomy, and here's why. Scientists can observe how stars form and evolve by studying its bright regions, which glow due to high-energy particles ejected during the explosion. If you've ever wondered what a star looks like in its final stages, the Crab Nebula is the perfect example. Inside it lies a neutron star known as a pulsar, which rotates at an incredible speed, up to 40 times per second. Pulsars emit radio waves, and they can be compared to cosmic lighthouses, helping astronomers understand how such colossal processes work. And the most astonishing thing, studying this nebula has given scientists a chance to look into the past, as the light from the explosion took nearly 1,000 years to reach Earth. Scientific instruments such as the Hubble and Chandra telescopes continue to collect data on the Crab Nebula, revealing new details about its structure and composition. For instance, analysis shows that the nebula contains heavy elements formed during thermonuclear reactions during the explosion. These elements, such as carbon and oxygen, play a crucial role in the formation of new stars and planets. Additionally, the nebula emits X-rays, making it one of the brightest sources of this type of radiation in our sky. With each new discovery, the question arises, how many more mysteries does the Crab Nebula hold? Imagine that the universe we observe is approximately 93 billion light-years in diameter, yet it is only 13.5 billion years old. How is this possible? It is due to the fact that space itself is expanding, and over time, objects at the edges of the observable universe move away from us faster than light can reach us. The discovery made by cosmologists reveals that when we look at distant galaxies, we see them as they were billions of years ago. For example, the light from a galaxy 30 billion light-years away may have begun its journey when the universe was only a few billion years old. However, as this light travels towards us, the universe continues to expand, and the distance to this galaxy increases. This creates a paradox. How can an object be at a distance greater than the distance light has traveled in the time the universe has existed? The secret lies in the fact that space expansion occurs not only within galaxies, but also between them. This means that light can move, but the space through which it travels is also growing. Therefore, we observe light from objects that are now at distances exceeding the size of the universe as we know it. Scientific models, such as the theory of inflation, help explain this phenomenon, suggesting that in the early moments of its existence, the universe expanded at an incredible speed, leading to the formation of vast voids between galaxies. What is even more astonishing, during this expansion, the speed of galaxies moving away can exceed the speed of light, violating the familiar laws of physics. Moreover, astronomers have found that this expansion is accelerating, and the cause of this acceleration remains a mystery. This could be related to dark energy, which, according to recent research, makes up approximately 76% of all energy in the universe. To understand how this works, imagine a large balloon with points drawn on it. When the balloon is inflated, the points move away from each other. Similarly, galaxies that are far apart move away from us, and the light we see is merely their snapshot from the past. But how does this affect our understanding of the universe? Imagine that we can only see a small part of its current state, while the rest remains hidden from our view. This idea opens up a whole world of mysteries and questions that await resolution, and who knows what secrets still await discovery in the vast expanse of the cosmos. In space, there are planets that could even astound the most seasoned treasure hunters. For instance, a planet called 55 Cancri A, located approximately 40 light-years from Earth. What is truly astonishing, however, is that the core of this planet could be made of diamonds. Imagine a planet where the surface temperature exceeds 2,000 degrees Celsius, and the pressure is so great that carbon compounds are compressed into a crystalline form, forming real diamonds. This is not just a myth. Scientists have inferred from the planet's composition that it may contain more than 30% of its mass in the form of diamonds. Now imagine these diamond mountains under the light of its star. They could sparkle like precious gems, but don't be too surprised. for this system has other peculiarities. 55 Cancri A is a super-Earth, twice the size of Earth and 8 times its mass. This means that the conditions on the planet are entirely different, and life, as we know it, is unlikely to exist there. But what is even more fascinating? Other exoplanets orbit around this planet, each one hiding its own secrets. Some of them may resemble our Earth, but others might be composed entirely of gases. This opens up incredible prospects for astronomers and researchers. What other treasures lie beyond our solar system? And if you think diamond planets are strange, wait until you hear about planets that spew diamonds into space. In fact, in the depths of some stellar systems, processes occur that can lead to the formation of diamonds in enormous quantities. These are true cosmic factories producing precious stones. Compare this to Earth's mines. In space, everything is on a much grander and more wondrous scale. And what if, in the future, we find a way to mine these diamonds? This could change everything, from the economy to the very nature of precious stones. And let's not forget about the other exoplanets that might contain even more rare minerals. The cosmos hides mysteries that we are only beginning to comprehend. According to the theory of inflation, imagine that our universe is just one of many bubbles in the vast expanse of the multiverse. These bubbles can arise from fluctuations in quantum fields, meaning each bubble can contain its own unique physical laws and properties. Did you know that according to scientists' estimates, there could be anywhere from 100 to 100 million such bubbles? Some of them might even be completely incomparable to our reality. Now imagine that in one of these universes time flows differently. Perhaps there, seconds are equal to hours. This opens up a whole new world of possibilities. And here's where it gets truly mind-boggling. Science suggests that some of these bubbles might be so close to us that their boundaries could intersect with our universe. Computer simulations show that the conditions under which bubbles form can be quite diverse, from completely empty spaces to densely populated worlds teeming with life. What's even more astonishing is that in some of these bubbles, there might exist forms of life that we can't even begin to imagine. For instance, it's possible that in one of these universes there are beings capable of interacting with space and time in entirely different ways. Some models describe how a bubble could collapse, creating conditions for the formation of new universes. This means that this process could go on indefinitely, with each new universe being completely different. Remarkably, according to some theoretical calculations, if we could somehow escape our bubble, we might discover worlds with entirely different physical laws, such as matter behaving in ways that defy our understanding of gravity. But wait, there's more. Research shows that even if we never see these bubbles, they could still influence our universe by creating gravitational waves that we detect using modern instruments. For example, scientists have detected gravitational waves from the merger of black holes that could have originated in other bubbles, opening up entirely new horizons for understanding the structure of our reality. It's no surprise, then, that many physicists are now working to find evidence of the existence of this multiverse, developing new models and conducting experiments at the very edge of what's possible. And now imagine that one day we might not only see, but also visit these other bubbles. In our galaxy, the Milky Way, there could be up to 40 billion planets similar to Earth, and this number is simply astonishing. These planets are located in what is known as the habitable zone of their stars, where conditions are suitable for the existence of liquid water. What does this mean? It means that on such planets there could be life as we know it. NASA scientists conducted a study using data from the Kepler telescope and calculated that approximately 1 out of 5 stars has a planet the size of Earth in its habitable zone. If we consider that our galaxy contains more than 100 billion stars, then imagine how many planets could potentially harbor life. But wait, there's more. Scientific research shows that some of these exoplanets may have conditions similar to early Earth, opening up possibilities for studying not only existing life, but also the origins of life itself. It's remarkable that some planets are located in the habitable zones of red dwarfs, which can exist for billions of years, providing more time for life to develop. And what's even more astonishing, the parameters of some of these exoplanets, such as their atmosphere and climate, can be so diverse that some of them may have ecosystems completely different from ours. For example, a planet might have twice as much carbon dioxide as Earth, leading to entirely different conditions for life. Research indicates that on such planets, exotic forms of life may exist that we cannot even imagine based on earthly examples. Parameters such as the presence of methane or oxygen in the atmosphere can indicate the presence of life, and astronomers are already developing methods for their detection. In this context, it's important not to forget that we have technologies to study exoplanets, including spectroscopy, which analyzes the light passing through their atmospheres. And the most incredible thing is that more than 3,000 exoplanets have already been discovered, but this is just the beginning. Scientific missions like TESS are already underway to discover new worlds, and who knows what mysteries they will reveal. These studies can change our understanding of life in the universe, and this only fuels our curiosity about what the future holds.